So this is the ultimate tutorial for 2024 to scale your e-commerce business and scale your Facebook or TikTok ads. I'm gonna be going through exactly step by step, every step of the process, revealing my 4-phase testing and scaling system, how you can turn one winning ad into 50, and really just basically everything. So you have 5-10 minutes to watch it through. I think it will have a massive impact to your business. So this is exactly how you can scale your paid social ads and your business and your e-commerce business sustainably. Basically, we've done this and generated over 700k 1 month with using this framework, and I'm going to be talking about everything. Basically, I'm going to be reviewing today over 500,000 and 20% up revenue using this system, from 150k to 350k, 60% to up revenue again using this system, 26 ROAS with influencer plus the cost cap strategy that I'm going to be also addressing today. 500,000, 3.5 ROAS in the front end in a few months, 2.6 less than 4 months, multiple other results, people that I've trained. Again, this stuff works, so get excited. There are 3 key pillars to scale your ads in your ad account, specifically for paid social. Know that it doesn't apply on like Google as well, but specifically on paid social, because we're gonna touch on creatives and stuff. But this applies to Google, this applies to your whole e-commerce business basically. Now, I want to go a bit top level first, and then we're going to go into the nitty gritty. This is one of the most important stuff. If you focus on these 3 key things, you will scale to 7 figures, even 8 figures, honestly. So right now, the game has really switched and changed. It was a lot of work in the ad account back in the day. Now there's a lot of work outside of the ad account. And you actually need to be a good marketer. You actually need to be know what you're doing, and just basically, be adept of how you can scale your business. Because obviously there was a point that you can just get away with a few hacky stuff and not really know what you're gonna do it. But now you need to have a good product, good offer, and be a good marketer. I know your stuff here in terms of like strategy, but this is gonna be addressed today. So don't worry, you're gonna be set with all this stuff. Now, first thing you need to sort is testing volume. Second is multiple scaling setups in their account. And 3, have a consistent credit pipeline. These are the 3 things you need to focus to scale ad spend and obviously your business, new customer growth, and customer acquisition. The more you're gonna test, the more you're gonna find. Obviously, the more you're gonna test with intent, which I'm gonna be addressing today as well. Multiple scaling setups in the account, so we have stable scaling strategies and stable performance. Negotiating creative pipeline, so we don't see those rise in CPA. Now, what to focus on from a high level standpoint. Now, you need to have, first of all, a good offer, and I'm going to explain in a couple of slides what that basically means. 2, creating high converting ads, having a repeatable creative testing system, winning iterations on your ads and creative output system, scaling with profitability, leveraging cost caps and high volume campaigns, not highest volume campaign here. Use the right mix of spend between Google, Meta, and TikTok. And 7, I put it in brackets because we're not going to be touching on today because I plainly don't have the expertise. But organic, just basically throwing your UGC or leveraging organic, you can scale to a good amount of revenue, especially with all these, think about it, every platform right now, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, they're really pushing organic reach. So I'm not sure how much they're going to be doing that, but it seems to be like a good competition right now between Meta, YouTube, even Google, with all this kind of shorts and short-term content to push more reach. So there's a lot to be said about that. If you can create some viral content, you can get a lot of money out of it basically without spending a single dollar, or use that to boost it basically with ads afterwards. Now, the first point I want to address, pick right offer. Only advertising products that are responsible. Only advertise. I'm sorry for my mistakes here, guys. Only advertising products that are responsible for 70% plus of revenue if you have multiple products. Don't just waste budget and stuff advertising your lowest performing products. You need to have a consistent acquisition, basically a product that will handle your acquisition, and you can obviously upsell, cross-sell with via email, whatever. But you need to have the winner and the SKU that is the hero product of your business. Number 2, if you're an e-com, obviously high AOV, above $100, is what you should before. Obviously, cost of advertising will be only increasing, so you need to have high enough AOV so you can make it work if you want to be profitable in the front end. Just be heads up here, this is not like a set in stone rule, it's just a rule of thumb. I've seen you could easily make it work for like $70-80 plus, even in the US, or even longer than that, and especially in less competitive markets. Now, number 3 is subscription focused. So if you have a kind of like a trial, or maybe like a 30-day, recurring kind of product or consumable, works very well. The play there is more LTV focused, but still, this is how you can be very profitable. These are some of the best offers from a top level perspective. Number 2, know your numbers. I know this is pretty boring up to this point, but I know this is what works, so I'm just gonna address what is actually working. You need to know your numbers. You'd be surprised how many people and how many businesses I audit in a week that I'm just like, what's your target or what's your margins? I don't even know. So you need to go first, find your margins, see where you're profitable so you can set proper targets. Now, one of the most important numbers that you need to know is LTV to CAC ratio. That basically will determine how aggressive you can be in the front end and what will be a good CPA. So if you have a strong LTV, maybe it might be like a subscription focus per product. You potentially want to look, being profitable in the front end basically, because you're gonna make that, in whatever your LTV numbers can be, 30, 90 days, whatever that is. Can you acquire customers profitably, but your LTV is low? Again, some businesses have great growth in the front end. They can spend a lot of money, acquire customers, maybe break even, maybe it's like profitable, but they have like, the LTV is not that great, so you need to get other products and stuff. Now, blending CPA and CAC target, again, what's your acquisition target, what are we shooting for? NCCPA is an amazing metric to really measure new customer acquisition and new customer CPA. So basically how effective is your acquisition, and you really just focus on like new customer growth by this figure. I think you can, like triple well would be great to easily just get that. And the bottom line is contribution margin. So if you like below like 8 figures, I think that would be the north star of your business. You should be optimizing with you should be focusing on contribution margin. Basically, how money is actually left out of ad spend and variable costs. So again, this is just more like a business metric. By the way, if you want a more in-depth training exactly on the nitty-gritty on how you can set up your ads, how you can create high converting ads, SOPs, ad training, everything, click the links below. I have a few offers to you so you can actually scale your business to the next level. But thanks a lot for watching this video. One of the key pillars of creating high converting ads, it was a point that it was really easy. You just throw everywhere in the platform, but now we need to be, we need to know what you're gonna work on. Now, the one point that everybody just misses, they just jump straight into creative, is the key with high converting creative is not the actual style of creative, is the messaging, and the messaging comes from customer research. So again, it's maybe the most important thing out of this presentation. I know it won't be for you, you might think it's not, but it is actually. So you need to know what your customer needs, give it to them instead of what you think he needs, and it's also enable to start seeing that what's resonating from a messaging standpoint in your first creatives. Once you get that winning messaging down, it's like everything's much easier because we can build on that, and we can test multiple styles of creatives and stuff. But if you don't need what's resonating, it just you're gonna be a lot harder. So the TLDR of research is trying to find out what your customers' problems are and how they're solving them in the market. Use ChatGPT, use Amazon, and just basically devote like 2-3 hours on research at least, and do this multiple times throughout the month so you can have that understanding. Here I have some bullet points: identify, write down benefits, problems, solutions, irresistible offer that makes your product fine so you can craft unique ads. Avatar research, identify, write down the avatar's interests and hobbies, all this kind of stuff. I'm not gonna go go very in depth because obviously we'll be here for a while. But again, TLDR, do your research, guys. There's multiple ways you can do it. Now we're going to create fundamentals. One of the most important indicators of success is your creative. Again, gone are the days when you could actually literally throw everything at the ad account and work. Best ads do two main things. They capture desired attention and they create intent and buying intent, if I'm being very specific. Here's a screenshot I pulled from Commentary Collective, which is very nice visuals. You can get a better understanding. You're creative, you need to do all this kind of stuff. You need to have attention, build interest and desire, and then obviously drive the action. There's some figures as well if you want to copy. But again, this from a high level, I want to just drive home what is needed here when you're creative. Now, I could just ramble on about creative and how we can actually produce, but I'm just going to give you the best 3 ads that I've seen after spending $1 million a month consistently for the past 2 months. You can just focus on whatever you want. The best is a feature static and just make sure you mention one key benefit with this feature static. I'm going to throw examples in a second. UGC demonstration kind of asset also works very well. And last one is a brand demo or found story, a bit more polished out, maybe some occasions. But these are the 3 core I would just focus on as I'm starting out. Now here's on the feature static. Again, you can see the main benefit is we have a clear headline most of the times. We can see we have a compelling message. It can be even a nice phrase to them, but again, it really communicates the messaging. It really showcases what's exactly different about a product. So again, hit your pain point or massive desires, see research module again, UGC demo. I'm not gonna go into specifically some UGCs because I think it will take a while, but why it works is just a snapshot of the Scale Your Ads Masterclass. You can find it below in the description. Right now it's only 27. By the time I'm writing this, I'm not sure how it's gonna be. I just launched this short course / training when we go in depth on all this stuff I'm going to talk today. So why it works, demonstrating the product, service in action, really focus on having a direct response compelling structure. So hook, builds intrigue, breaks resistance, and have a call to action. And then we're going to go into the brand demo, founder story. Why it works, the founder story is one of the most consistent setups basically. So you need to just do it if you can actually. But it just showcases like the founder, why I created the brand, everything. So you can see it's very compelling. So yeah, that's another one. Top performing UGC angles. If you want to copy some of the UGC testimonial, product focus, I would just say on these 2 honestly. If I'm just starting out, you can always combine all the 2. But make sure if you're like below, and I'm just gonna address it in a couple minutes. If you're below like 1K a day, make sure you focus on the core angles, not just experiment with everything you see on the ad library of your competitors. And focus on this setup because it's one of the most winning structures, scripts that we've seen. So how do you target with your creative? Now, this is one of the most important stuff when you create your ad. You come back to messaging, but I just want to go through this quick training here of Eugene Schwartz, 5 levels of awareness. Something that again, it comes back to you need to be a good marketer. If you need to, as scale happens and we push more spend, you need to expand your messaging. It will reach more broad audiences that are least converting. So at the start, it's super important that we be more direct, hitting all that product aware or most aware, solution aware as well segment, and then we need to do a bit more education about the product. So how you can do this practically, again, just because you're labeling top of funnel in your campaign doesn't mean we are targeting cold traffic. And I have just a simple, I just put together a simple like pyramid and stuff so you can have a better understanding. Is bottom funnel, middle funnel is, basically we focus on the price, we focus on the offer. We are assuming that our customer knows their problem, knows that they have a problem, knows what they want. So we're just making sure that we are focusing on that a product is better and the unique mechanism that a product is better. And then as we expand, as you can see, it gets more top of funnel. We need to just basically build that desire to purchase our product. Now, the system how we do this, how we scale accounts, it's a 4-phase system, it's an insane actual system. Once I developed that, I just been seeing consistent results. So we use basically single ad and variable isolation that progresses into 4 phases. So phase 1 and phase 2 is message and creative testing. We focus on creative. And I have, for some reason here, the same thing. Again, I'm sorry for the slides, guys. Just didn't manage to edit them probably. I just pulled the wrong slides because I've actually edited them. But anyways, phase 1, phase 2 is heavy creative testing. Phase 1 is a traffic campaign, just to be clear. We're really making sure that we're gonna gather the most information at the cheap cost, so we can then test it in phase 2, which is actually a conversion focused campaign. Then we have phase 3, we initiate scaling through audience testing and through some secondary interest. Phase 4, advanced scaling frameworks, fast scale. We leverage cost caps, bid caps, probably like more cost caps to be honest, and some high volume campaigns, some ASC bus campaigns, and some multiple scaling environments I just talked about to scale. But everything builds on a single variable isolation test that we do at the start, because after a point, and it's really hard to understand for a lot of people, especially some of the people that are trained in the different agencies. After a point, scale is pretty easy. Like scale to me is pretty easy if we proven already what is worked. That's why it's super important to have a single ad variable isolation, and we basically know what's working. We push more spend and we make more of what's working. So this system works like clockwork. Now, creative testing system overview. Again, phase 2. I'm gonna start with the phase 2, which is basically what I would recommend is starting off. You can start with phase 1 as well, depending on your budget, but phase 2 will be probably the most you guys gonna have. Another one is ABO testing per ad group. So each ad group has one unique. We've set up a hypothesis. So for example, we're testing like this angle versus this angle, and we have 3 ads. Typically, I like to keep it 3, honestly, and we have different ad sets for each angle. So we isolate each variable again, and we make progress. The method 2 is bucket theory testing. This is my go-to, to be honest. It makes a lot more sense once you get the bid going in the account, spending a few $100. But MBO campaign, again, each ad set is one ad duplicated 2 times. So we use pocket theory, which means basically this is a measure to ensure that our ad gets delivered, because Meta, TikTok, every ad platform will deliver the ad to different segments of the same audience. So it might deliver the ad on a feed placement in California, for example, and that morning, or it can deliver the ad in like a story placement in Kentucky, for example, in the evening. So you can see drastic changes in CPM, CPC, CTRs, all this kind of stuff. Even the CPS, you can see how I'll put some examples here. So we want to make sure that we not second guessing and we making sure that this ad is actually a winning one. So we use that. So we isolate each creative variable. This is great for making hypothesis, making progress, and making iterations. But again, a bit more advanced, I highly recommend it after you get a few winning creatives down and you get the system down, basically. Now, ad macro optimization. This is the sweet stuff here, honestly. Once we have a winning ad, how we iterate it, how we can unlock more scale. I see one of the most common mistakes that I see is people spend way too much money on new assets and way less time on iterating and editing, which is much easier, much faster, at least for me and for everybody, I think, on building on that winning creative, basically. Now, we use ad macro optimization. So we optimize the scroll frame by basically tweaking the most important stuff on the ad that have the biggest impact. So that would be the headline and the hook. We have the 5 or 6 big creative tests, which basically, again, the hook or the headline if it's actually like a static here, or like again it could be thumbnail design variations after that, but I will test some different avatar stuff. So I'll put the example here from a past client or like a past account that I'm actually managing. As you can see, what I did here, the first actual thing that I did was actually change the headline, but I just haven't pulled these exact examples. But you can see the macro optimization part. I've changed the features, I've changed the scroll frame, I've changed the color, and this has drastically different results. And this is how I unlock more scale out of one winning ad, and this is like key. And how we test about this stuff, that should be 100% transparent. We throw these variations into phase 1, So we test them with traffic, we see what's resonating, we do put it into the phase 2, we test it in conversion objective, we then scale into phase 4 and phase 3. Now, again, I'm sorry that I'm going maybe a bit too fast, but I don't want to make this video like an hour long because you probably never watch it. So, throw variations into phase 1, got information, do it into phase 2, create new assets based on these ideas. Again, I don't know what's happening in my presentation here. Scaling, the fun part, the actual tactics behind everything. I know it just took only 15 minutes to get there. Now, the first step to scaling is ensure that you have multiple winning ads, at least 2 or 3 in my opinion, and MER, revenue over the health of the business, again, is looking good. Do not scale something in the account if your whole business doesn't look good. 2 main ways to scale in the account, vertically and horizontally. 3 ways to scale outside the account, multiple offers, SKUs, GEOs, adding channels, whatever. As you can see, I've scaled to 25, 30K USD a day using this exact framework. So I'm going to be talking. Now, before actually hopping to phase 4, the phase 3 initiated scaling is audience testing. We need to identify 1 or 2 winning broad enough audiences so we can scale through after that in phase 4. So we need to use proven ads to unproven audiences. I have an ABO, I just have multiple broad enough audiences. It will be interest stacks and secondary interest stacks and some 10% buyer list lookalikes. Again, this is the beginning of initiated scaling. What do you do? Make sure you have kill points in place to kill any tests that don't perform. And yeah, let's be more as efficient as possible. Once you find a winner, do it into phase 4. You can scale through 2 or 3 different audiences. Now, scaling first, I have these 5 main scaling setups that I like to use, and I'm just using the most now. There'll probably be more ways to scale, to be honest. But these are the more consistent ones. And option 1 to 5, it goes from like the most efficient to the least efficient, or not the efficient. Let me phrase this a bit better. The least risky and the less adspend it requires, probably. So, option 1, a single ad scaling. We basically scale what's proven on phase 2 in phase 4, a higher budget. Option 2, ABO scaling, the most consistent out of all setups, hands down. Option 3, CBO, it just requires a low budget and a few winning audiences to get this right. Because it just basically needs a lot more to get out of the ending phase. Option 4, manual bidding, cost caps. This is one of my go-to. So ABO and manual bidding and BBC Blast scaling is the most common ones. I always use manual bidding because basically it's one of the most efficient ways to preserve profitability, but at scale, want to throw in some high-volume campaigns. Then we have dynamic creative testing at scale. Again, we need to have proven creatives, proven headlines, proven everything. Make sure you have, again, clear kill points and you don't overspend on things that won't work. But yeah, that's phase 4. The most efficient way to scale, manual bidding, in my opinion, single ad scaling, and vertical scaling your winning testing ad sets. So what we like to do is when we find one winning ad on phase 2, we're just gonna vertically scale it by 20-30% every 2-3 days. So we know that ad group is working, because sometimes when you do bid, it just doesn't really get the same performance. Now, last but not least, one of the most important things you need to focus is creating pipeline cadence. So how many? One of the most common questions I get: how, from our clients, people are trained, whatever. How many assets do I even want? Now, it will depend on your ad spend, on how fast things are fatiguing, maybe with your entry, maybe with your price point. But this is like a rough rule of thumb. If you're spending less than 10K a month, have at least 2 to 4 creative tests and 1 message testing test, so 1 phase 1 test. If you're spending more than 10K a month, around 4 to 8, and 10-12 when scaling hard, i.e. 3-4K a day plus. It gets more important as you scale spend to have more in the pipeline, because you're gonna find more winners. One big disclaimer here. This number of assets is a mix of net new assets and iterations. So 80% should be on iterations, so chasing different hooks, different headlines, different style of creatives, but on the same winning messaging. And maybe 20% is like net new assets. Obviously, at the start, it would be the majority will be net new assets because you don't know what's working. But after a point, make sure you focus on what has been proven. This is the only way you're gonna see consistent scale you're gonna see consistency at scale, and yes, scale your business basically. So thanks a lot for watching this video. That was all it. Again, make sure you check the links below. I have a few offers. I really truly appreciate taking the time out of your day and watching this video. And make sure you implement. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Happy to address it.